Hello and welcome to Health Professional Radio. Thank you so much for listening today. Our guest in studio today is Deanna Won. She's the founder of Keynotes to Life. She's a speaker, leadership consultant, and holistic health coach, also a former Air Force colonel and physicist of over 26 years who, at the peak of her career, was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. Now, her condition deteriorated to the point where she was admitted into hospice care on oxygen and given just 1 month to live. But miraculously, she recovered through changing her nutrition, her thoughts, and prayers. And as a result, she has a very strong passion to provide help to those who seek healing in mind, body, and spirit, and to lead a life of purpose. How are you doing, Deanna?
I'm doing great, Neal. Thanks for having me here again.
Some of our listeners may not know exactly who you are. As the founder of Keynotes to Life, you're also a cancer survivor, as well as a former Air Force colonel and physicist. When you were a physicist, you were diagnosed with ovarian cancer quite by accident, I understand, from previous segments talking with you. You had an accident, slipped on the ice, and as a result of x-rays and things for one suspected injury, some devastating news was given to you.
That's right. That's why it's so important to really understand and be aware of what the symptoms are, because the reason why ovarian cancer is one of the most lethal as far as the gynecological cancers is because most women are diagnosed at late stage.
Mm-hmm. Because the symptoms are next to none or very vague?
The symptoms are very vague.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they include just feeling bloated for no apparent reason. Also, they include feeling full when you've just eaten a few bites of your meal. Or else you could also feel some pain or pressure in your pelvis, abdomen, and back. You could also notice some changes in the urgency or frequency of urination, or else there could be some abnormal bleeding as well.
Now, as a former Air Force colonel, when you were diagnosed with cancer, how much support did you receive from your colleagues?
I felt like I received a great deal of support. I don't think I could have asked to work for a better boss. At the time, I was working for an Army general who was really an amazing leader in person, and my entire staff, they were incredibly supportive and really truly wanted me to make taking care of myself and my health my number one priority, which was a struggle for me. Just having been trained for so long in the military, we're always trained to lean forward and to push to accomplish the mission, take care of the people. But one of the things that I learned, subsequently through my own journey was that I needed to kind of pay attention to myself as well.
Now, you've taught as a nationally certified fitness instructor for many, many years, and you're currently a certified holistic health coach. You graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. You're also a certified health minister for the Hallelujah Diet and trained in live blood microscopy. You've also been doing some videos since 2007, correct?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Are these videos, do they coincide with your activities as founder of Keynotes to Life?
Yes, I believe they do. When I first started back in 2007, I just provided some leadership scenarios that are currently being used through the Stanford Graduate School of Business in training for their leadership focus and training program. And so, certainly with just all my years of being in military, leadership is always something that is kind of first and foremost in my mind. But I'm very passionate about health, and because of what I went through myself with the ovarian cancer, the more recent videos that I've been making have to do with just simple things that people can do to, help, whether they're recovering from an illness or whether they just want to maintain their current level of fitness and health. Because some of these things aren't really hard. People think, for example, when it comes to, juicing green vegetables, that it's a huge chore and takes a lot of time. But what I show in these videos, it's that it really doesn't take that much time. You just need to be organized and plan and, have all your, vegetables and ingredients available at hand, and you're set.
Now, you say that there's one area that's foundational in changing your health for the better. What is that one area that you've identified?
It's nutrition.
Okay. Overall nutrition.
Yes, I believe that's foundational because, if you are consistently bombarding your body with junk food and things that don't support, just the overall, regeneration of the cells, it just stands to reason that the next generation of cell turnover in your body, it's going to be inferior to, the previous cells that you had. And, the immune system is just so critical to healing from any, chronic illness. And, if you just think about the fact that your cells can only rebuild themselves into new cells based on the fuel that we provide to those cells, and that fuel comes in the form of food. So it's almost like you can look at food like, it's either something that's going to support that or not. There's really nothing that's neutral.
I guess my next question is going to be a dual-pronged question. First of all, being known as a medical miracle among some doctors, because you came out of hospice, you were given just a month to live. You came out of hospice, and not only came out of hospice, but back to a vibrant life. You basically beat cancer. How much of that was your outlook on nutrition and health before your diagnosis? So I guess I'm getting at the habits that you had health-wise before you were diagnosed. How much of a role did that play in your recovery? And also, being a scientist yourself, being involved in research and knowing certain things on a scientific level, were there things that you knew and maybe could better understand once your diagnosis was made that gave you, say, an edge over the layman, so to speak?
Yes. To answer the first part of your question, I feel that my interest, I've had a lifelong interest in health and wellness, and I feel that truly did contribute to how I handle being told that I had ovarian cancer. It was still a shock, just I think anytime you receive a grim diagnosis like that. But certainly what I saw early on, my mother's father was a Chinese herbalist. And so I grew up experiencing, being able to heal from things like, let's say a sore throat with some of his herbs. And they would immediately clear up the issue and there were no side effects. And so growing up, my mother always told me, that, your own body better than any doctor. And that's something that has always stayed with me. And certainly as a scientist in the Air Force, that, just having a scientific method, going through that whole mythology of, just trying to identify what the issue is, that I believe that gave me a leg up because I certainly, knew how to, read scientific journals and the research. And so I did a great deal of my own research to try to understand just all the different facets of cancer. And that was to help me decide which treatment approach I wanted to take. And that's how I finally arrived at the conclusion of trying to heal holistically.
Now, as we wrap up this segment, I'd like you to briefly give us just a few of your top cancer fighting tips, some of the tips that you've come to realize based on your struggle and your victory. And then let us know where we can get more information about you and bring you on as a speaker, as a representative of your foundation, Keynotes to Life. Okay.
Okay, sure. Some of my top cancer fighting tips include adapting into a raw organic vegan diet, if at all possible, or at the very least, just add a lot more plant-based foods into your diet because these, especially when it's raw, the enzymes are still intact. And, we need enzymes, just for all the functions in our body. And the plant-based foods, they are very rich in phytonutrients to actually fight cancer. And I would also encourage people to incorporate more juicing of vegetables. And that's very important. I say vegetables, I don't say fruits, because one of the important tips for fighting cancer is the need to really, decrease significantly or even eliminate, if possible, all, refined sugars. And what happens, when people start juicing fruits, that really concentrates the sugar. And the link to cancer is that cancer cells actually have much more glucose receptors on them than normal tissue. And so they are just voracious consumers of sugar. They need that to grow, and of course to, metastasize, unfortunately. And so the sugar is really critical. I would also recommend minimizing or eliminating meat consumption, just because meat, just in order for us to break down and digest the meat requires a great deal of acid production in our body. And, acid, having an acidic environment is what cancer cells, they thrive in an acidic environment. And so the whole idea with the nutrition is to create a more alkaline in terms of the pH environment, which will be, less conducive for cancer cells. Some other things would just be to get plenty of rest, at least, 8 to 10 hours if possible. Reduce stress, stop working if you can, because, one of my doctors, told me way back when I first went to see him, you can't fight a war on two fronts and expect to win, and so, going to work, you get stressed out, it's kind of unavoidable. And that's going to deplete the energy that your immune system needs to focus on dealing with the cancer cells.
You've got a website, I do believe.
Yes, I do. It's DeannaWon.com. That's DeannaWon.com.
And I understand you are working on a book that's soon to be published?
Yes, hopefully by next year. It's a book about basically my story, my service to this country in the military, as well as my diagnosis with ovarian cancer and how I healed from and came out of hospice. I will include steps and some of the principles I believe that are really critical to recovering one's health. And hopefully, like I said, it'll come out next year.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard. And we've been in studio today talking with Deanna Won, a former Air Force colonel and physicist, also the founder of Keynotes to Life, a foundation where she is a speaker, leadership consultant, and holistic health coach. She's currently a certified holistic health coach, graduated from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, also a certified health minister for the Hallelujah Diet. And she's been here with us today as a return guest, talking with us about her miraculous recovery from ovarian cancer, also about how nutrition is foundationally important when it comes to a healthy lifestyle, and also when it comes to preventing or, in some cases, combating the onset of cancer. It's been great having you here with us again today, Deanna.
Oh, thanks so much, Neal. It's great to be here with you again.
Thank you. Transcripts and audio of this program are available at healthprofessionalradio.com.au and also at hpr.fm, and you can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.